Having a little sing-song there, right?
Break it. Yeah, love it. It's my heart now, baby.
In your own time. Well, you're very welcome to the Lightweight Boxing Show with myself, Dom McGuinness, Anthony $1 Million Crolla. Anthony getting stuck into his hot Vimto, which if you're not from Manchester or maybe the Northwest, you probably don't know what that means, but it is a drink of choice, isn't it, Anne?
Yes, it is. God bless them. There's so many times when I'm glad I'm a Northerner, and yeah, because of hot Vimtos, that makes it one of them.
But as we're in Manchester, that would suggest there's a big fight week, and of course there is, because Conor Benn is this weekend in action against Chris van Heerden, which means coming up, all the fight week action, and it is always a buzz around town, isn't it, Anne?
It is, yeah. Manchester, a massive fighting town, fighting city, and the arena. We love coming back to the arena, and I think Conor Benn now is becoming one of the stars of British boxing, and it's about time we had him here in Manchester again.
And also somebody that made a name for himself in Manchester, not just you, not talking about $1 Million, former WBA lightweight champion of the world, which again we're contracted, we have to say, because he throws his toys out if we don't. But Ricky Hatton, of course, made the arena his own, had some amazing nights, and his lad Campbell is on the bill. So it's been a real treat this week to get special access to the Hatton camp. Now, of course, it's fight number 7. So far, so good, 6-2. You showed something different, I think, in your last fight against Joe Ducker as well. I think you caught a lot of people's eye in that one. You've had some critics. You're going to get that anyway. We knew that starting off. How are you feeling now going into this 7th fight at the arena?
Yeah, I think the penny's dropped now with me. It's it was obvious in my early fights. I was a bit over-eager and forcing things and going in there trying to get that stoppage when it weren't quite there. And then it's like the oldest saying in boxing, it never comes when you go looking for it. Whereas in my last couple, I've just took the pressure off myself, gone in there and relaxed and put in my 2 best performances. I think last time I shown that I can box and I can think about what I'm doing, and shown some more classy work, and I think it's going to be the same again this time.
You're going to face a guy that is going to offer different challenges, tough, 34 years of age, league lover. He's been around a bit. He's been in with good company. And again, you're fighting someone with a winning record. So what have you looked into him, and how are you preparing for this one?
Yeah, we've looked at a lot, because like you say, he's boxed at a good level, so there's plenty out there of him, and we've seen he's still ambitious and he's going to give it a really good go, and I think that's going to just play into my hands. I think I'll show more of the classy boxing that I shown last time out, and that's the answer for me. I think that'll be the difference on the night, and there's plenty of things that we've seen that we can exploit and work in my favour.
You're fortunate this time with your mate, gym mate, Luke Evans. How's it been like training alongside each other for that, knowing you've got the same day? I know it's only been for the last few weeks, he's only just found out, but how's that been? Does that add a little bit extra for you?
Yeah, it's made the camp that bit more enjoyable, and obviously because we're at the same stage of a camp where normally we've both had fights coming up, but like a few weeks difference in them, so we've been at different levels, whereas this time we've been doing plenty of sparring together, both like in the same position, where it's like we're just really looking forward to it, pushing each other on, and it's going to be a good night for us both.
Top of the bill is Conor Benn against Chris van Heerden. Uncle Matt boxed Chris van Heerden back in the day as well. And Conor, he's spoken about yourself, he's spoken about the family pressure, and he's in a very similar situation to you. Obviously, he's a bit further ahead now in his professional career. But have you had much to do with him? He always speaks very well of you and the journey you're on now.
Yeah, he's been really helpful with my career. I've spent a bit of time down in Essex and done bits of training down there. Spent a few days down at Tony Sims' gym, and I've had loads of advice off him. Main one being about ignoring all the armchair pundits sat at home, and he's been under a little bit of pressure off people. He's had a bit of stick himself early on in his career, and he's persevered through it and worked hard, and he's come out the other side now where he's really kicking on and he's a world level contender. So I think that's just what I've got to do as well. I think just persevere. I've had the same sort of challenges early on that he's had to deal with, and it's a bit of blueprint for how my career needs to go. Just need to stay in the gym, keep working hard, keep improving, and I'm confident that eventually I'll come out the other side and I'll be in a similar position.
You're keeping nice and active. You're in the gym all the time. Not talking titles. I know you're a man who wants to keep improving and keep improving. You map out the perfect 2022 for Campbell Hatton.
I'd say be as busy as I was last year. I had 6 fights in under 12 months. I think it was 9 months I had the 6 in. So if I can have the same again this time and keep getting that experience under my belt, I think we've cracked it.
Just want to kind of touch upon, the Conor Benn stuff and the advice he's given you. But when you were getting that criticism when you box a Spanish lad, and you're not immune to it, nobody is, and you've got your dad, you've got Uncle Matt as well, who they've been there, they've had criticism and everything else. How hurtful was it for you, and how much did you have to kind of work at overcoming that?
Yeah, it was a hard few weeks, and the first thing I did was delete all my social medias for a bit. Just put it out my head and block it out. But yeah, I was absolutely gutted. I massively underperformed on that night. But I think in the long run, that'll stand me in good stead. Yeah. One thing Matt said to me was that it takes fighters years to develop a thick skin and be able to put up with the criticism and being under the spotlight and all that. Whereas I've been able to develop that thick skin early on in my career. Whereas going forward, I know there's nothing's going to top the stick I got after that. Like, no matter how bad things get, or if I was to really underperform again or even get beat, I know it can only be as bad as that. It can't get any worse. So it's a bit like a bit of a safety net now where I can just crack on and take that pressure off myself.
It's a unique situation for you, I suppose, at the minute. You're a bit older than your teammate, Campbell, but Campbell's done the big arena before, hasn't he? So you've been picking his brains, even though you're more experienced as a pro, obviously. Yeah,
without a doubt. I mean, we bounce off each other, and obviously I'll go to Campbell for advice, and he's always welcome to get advice from me, and that's how we've got to work it. We've got to support each other and keep helping each other as much as we can.
Very soon, domestically, you feel like you'll be ready to be let off the leash?
100%. I mean, I feel like I'm at that level now. And I think the better fighter you put in front of me, I think the better I'll be. Yeah, I mean it's just one of them things. Unfortunately, I've had a bit of a stop-start career, but now things are finally starting to fall into place. So I've got to take full advantage of the setup that I've got here with Matthew and Campbell, and show the improvements that I've made.
Just something that's about your story, if you like. It's similar to Anthony here and lots of fighters. You've had problems outside the ring. There's a high-profile incident where you're involved with a very nasty incident that left you, fighting for your life, I suppose, as well as your career. A stabbing incident, which thankfully you came through okay. But you've turned that into a positive, haven't you? Just like Anthony did with his burglary incident when his world was shattered. Yours was for a time, wasn't it? But you managed to get back on the right track and just get yourself sorted out.
100%. I mean, I took massive inspiration from Anthony. And obviously, there's many other fighters who have been in a similar position where things outside the ring have not helped. The main thing is I've still got my career. I'm very healthy, and I get to resume it. So I'm very grateful. And there's not a day goes by that I don't think of how lucky I am to still be here. So I've just got to take that inspiration now and move forward and put the negative stuff behind me.
Map out the perfect 2022 for Luke Evans.
Yeah, I'd like to be out again fairly quick if possible. I think just being active, I think I just want to be active and make up for lost time. But if I had it my way, hopefully end the year in a big fight or a title fight of some sort. That would be an absolutely perfect end to the year. So yeah, that's the plan.
Canelo's done okay since you boxed him. He's still knocking about, as is Chris Van Heerden, which was your last, as Anthony mentioned before, it was your last professional fight down in South Africa, and he's now in there against Conor Benn, still campaigning away. But again, just a word on him and your experience of that fight before we get to how you think it's all going to pan out.
Good experience in South Africa. It was my final fight. Chris is a very good, solid fighter. And I think from Conor Benn's point of view, it's a good match, good, sensible match. I think he's knocking on the door for a world title. But once you make the move, you can't move backwards. Better to be a couple of fights. And I think this is quite a safe fight for Conor. Chris is a very good, solid fighter. He can certainly test him. Can he beat him? I don't think so. You know, I remember 8 years ago, Chris was a good fighter. He beat me. I can't say anything. That was part of the reason why I retired, because I did believe the hunger had just gone from me a little bit then. He's so important. You know, I thought, no disrespect, I thought, how did I lose to Chris? You know, a couple of years ago, I would have beaten him. But it was very simple. He wanted to win more than me. And that's when I knew it was the right time to stop. You know, he's a good fighter, a good, solid fighter. He certainly was 8 years ago. Is he now? I'm not too sure. I haven't seen much of his recent form. He can test Conor Benn. Can he beat him? I don't think so.
So good catching up with Matthew and the camp there. He's got a good thing going, Matthew Hatton, hasn't he? And the two lads, obviously, they bounce off each other really well.
It's really tight-knit, that, and you can see it's great that... And listen, Matthew was a coach. How he's going to enjoy it as a coach, having them both on. But, you know, Luke and Campbell, you can see there's a good friendship there as well. Yeah. And, you know, I was lucky enough to experience that myself for some of my big nights at the Arena. So, now really happy seeing both of them, both great lads, and both big nights on Saturday night.
Good chatting to them, of course, but you always have to have the last word, don't you? You know, when I've done my bit, it's like, all right, you do one, because I want to go freestyle a little bit. So, without further ado, then here is Crolla's Corner.
Make sure you cut all
that bit. Yes, definitely.
Where are you getting these questions from?
Campbell, unfortunately, you support the Blue Half of Manchester. However, past or present, you have to choose a player from Manchester City for your Uncle Matt to coach. Who do you pick?
Roy Keane.
A lot of people go Keane.
Roy Keane, his aggression. I think we need to bring him back as a player, to be honest. But yeah, it's got to be Keano. Straight
away I thought Robson, but then I thought, wow, imagine. Then I thought, wow, imagine the crack with Roy. So listen, just so I could push his buttons to see him flip, I'd have said Roy.
My favourite player of all time was Brian Robson. And Captain Marvel himself, and been lucky to meet him a couple of times. A great guy and a real winner and character. So, you know, he's a winner, and it'd be quite a laugh training him as well.
Pablo Zabaleta.
Oh, Zabaleta.
Harder than Yapstam.
Blimey, this is a tough one.
Final meal.
Yeah.
Is this starter?
You get a meal. You're not having not a free course.
Well, it is a 3-course.
Oh,
usually
three course.
I'll have a bit of scallops to start.
Honestly, I've been craving a milkshake. Just a
full
fat milkshake with all the cream on it, all the sprinkles, the flakes, everything like that. Just a nice milkshake will do me.
Joe, what? I've got a few options here.
San Carlos scallops.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're going to moan that you only get 2 instead of 3.
Well, the one in Manchester you get 2, the one in Wimslow you get 3. So I'm just putting it out there. Maine's a tough one. I love a Gatli Tandoori, Indian. But most probably, I love a pasta dish, as you know. I'd most probably have to say a Gatli Tandoori chicken tikka masala.
Nice.
And then a dessert, I'd most probably have my mum's apple crumble and custard.
It's up to you to finish the night on the karaoke. What we're singing.
Don't mind a little bit of Rick Astley.
Oh, wow.
That is a bit of Elvis.
You want me to duet with you?
It'd have to be Chesney Hawkes, wouldn't it? The one and only. It'd have to be
mate.
Chesney, but when I've been on the karaoke a few times before in the past, it's always been the Peter Andre, Mysterious Girl.
6-pack out.
Well, when I've got one, yeah. But it won't be the first time I've had it turned off on me either halfway through. That bad.
Most probably a bit of Elvis Presley.
Probably go with Suspicious Minds.
You're in a gym full of characters. One of them, you get to choose to swerve on a night out.
Oh, there's so many.
Only one. One.
Right, okay.
I'm not in a position to be swerving anyone on a night out.
It's one I'd swerve. I think they'd all swerve me, Kroll, to be honest. to be fair. I think there'd only be just a few lads and possibly Tasha from the gym that'd be sticking around, mate.
Because I'm lucky if anyone's answering the phone to me. Everyone's swerving me.
I'm going to have to drop young Campbell in it here. I see enough of him every day, and he's like me. He's a lightweight like me. We're not big drinkers, but... We don't know it ourselves, so again, can't be Luke. So it'd have to be
Luke.
It's not too bad, though. Yeah, it'd have to be young Campbell.
So Crolla's Corner back. There's going to become a time, I think, when these fighters are going to get sick of you, and they're going to get fed up with you actually prying, because you're getting stuff out of them that they probably, in hindsight, they're looking back. I'd say so.
Cause some trouble. I think, respect to both Campbell and especially to Joe for admitting they'd be the one who gets avoided on a night out.
It's the true devilment side of Crolla that people don't know about. This is what Crolla's Corner is actually delivering, really. It's not just a nice guy, that's a load of nonsense. Anyway. But of course, we are in Manchester. It's a big night of action. Conor Benn against Chris Van Heerden, as we know about, top in the bill. It's a Matchroom show. It's on DAZN, of course, which means, well, there's nothing quite like a Manchester fight week.
Well done for taking this fight. I can't wait. Tommy, firstly for you, a really close fight last time. I mean, you still obviously think that you deserve to get your hand raised, so does Chris, but it was a brilliant fight and everybody really excited about the rematch in what is a must-win fight for you on Saturday.
I did think I won the fight, but as you say, it was very close. So I'm just so happy that I've got the rematch so I can set the record straight and get the win again. So you're talking about going down to Bournemouth. Eddie, you may cancel Bournemouth because I'm winning this on Saturday night. Bournemouth, somebody else.
Then we might be in Belfast.
We'll do it in Belfast. But listen, whatever comes past this, like, I'm not too concerned. As long as I win on Saturday night, that is all that I'm focused on. Saturday night is, as you say, it's a must-win, and I have to stay concentrated on it. And you know, I'm fully focused.
A good fight last time, but yeah, for me, it's not. It's just giving myself the opportunity to put this to bed and prove that, you know, that my performance can be so much better than it was first time round. And I've showed that all this camp, even pre-camp when I was sparring Lawrence. So yeah, I'm just ready to put this to bed now and just, you know, really put on a superb performance on Saturday night.
If you talk about boxing, I do believe I'm a better boxer than Conor. All around better boxer. He's like I said, he's an angry, aggressive fighter. He's a fighter. I'm a boxer, and I do believe that I have the skill. I'm being judged unfairly for the last NS outing, but no one is talking about the fact that I got that fight on 2 weeks' notice, 2 sparring sessions and a weight cut. I took the fight because we were in a pandemic. His opponent pulled out. They always know to call me because I'm always ready to fight. And I took the fight, but I'm being fairly judged on that. This is a different story. You guys have treated me fairly, Eddie. Conor's treated me fairly. I got off training camp. You're going to see a different animal.
We know that you're a very tough man, but you're going to be very tough to beat with his spirit with you on Saturday night as well. We know how important this fight is for you and him as well on the journey that you shared.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I just wish he was here because we spoke about this moment for a long time. I left him for 8 years. Every birthday, every Christmas, chasing this dream. And then my dad was brutally murdered 3 years ago. But we did it. We're here. So this is, I feel it. This is it.
No, listen, people aren't giving Van Heerden a chance here, which surprises me. He has been in with the best fighters in the game of this era. So, you know, for people to be saying, oh, why is he fighting Van Heerden? That's a backhanded compliment, really. I mean, you say, show me respect. I mean, they're not really they're trying not to show me respect, but really they are, because you wouldn't have put me in this position 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So, listen, it don't really matter what people think at the end of the day. The progression's real. And, you know, come Saturday night, I show I can deal with anything presented to me. First southpaw on paper, you know, I'm ready for that. You know, I love challenges, I thrive off challenges, and, you know, we're here. It don't really matter to me, to be honest. I'm going to go in there, and if I see an opportunity, I'm going to take it and try and take him out. You know, he's saying I can't box, which was the headline I believe I read. You know, he's backtracking now, so it's, you know, last time I checked, Algeria got outboxed and knocked out, unconscious. So, you know, I can do both. Ask Sebastian Formella. You know, I've had 13 knockouts out of 20 fights. What are all the rest then? Because I won them quite convincingly. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, he can think what he wants at the end of the day. When I get in there, I'm down to business. And if I see an opportunity, mark my words, if I see a slight opening, I will take it and I will throw everything at him. A slight opening. All I've got to see is a little twinge, a little eye twitch, and I'm on him.
So all the bits and pieces from Manchester Fight Week, and of course the main event, Conor Benn in action. You know, great excitement about Conor's career, and I might just pick up in a minute about Conor towards the end of the show. We've also got your charity bet to talk about, which, again, massive pressure on you now. But I suppose the fight of the night really is Billam Smith and McCarthy, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think last time out, I think a lot of people thought that McCarthy could have got it. I thought Billam Smith had done enough, but there's probably more people who disagreed with me, as most things in life, who thought McCarthy had done enough. So, really intriguing rematch. You can see the pair of them are super up for it. Billam Smith, so no, I am the better man. I'm going to prove it this time a lot clearer. Whereas McCarthy's like, no, I'm going to prove to everyone last time you thought I got a decision that was the right, and I'm going to go about it in a better way and beat you more convincing. So, that's definitely the pick.
Yeah, Billam Smith obviously with Shane McGuigan, but then Tommy McCarthy's got his Manchester connections, hasn't he? He was at Champs Camp for a while. He's trained here for a good while.
He's been down, so I remember him coming down to Joe Gallagher's a few times, sparring with his mate Sam Hyde. Tommy, nice guy. No, two really nice lads.
Yeah. They are indeed, but as it is Manchester Fight Week, of course we have to every time. It's the law. Well, we do every time anyway. It doesn't have to be in Manchester. We always catch up with the chairman of Matchroom Sport, and that is the one and only Eddie Hearn.
Conor Benn, how's he looking ahead of this big fight?
Looks great. I mean, he's maturing a little bit. You know, he just used to want to just come out and take everybody's head off at the press conference and on fight night. But, you know, you've got an emotional guy in Van Heerden as well. And I think this is a really good fight. First southpaw he's ever faced. It's going to be a tough challenge.
Van Heerden with the emotional story, I think it's helped subdue Ben a little bit because he was looking like he was getting fired up.
Yeah, I think so. And look, when you lose, you know, your father, especially like that, they shared this boxing journey together. So you know you're going to be in with a guy that's, you know, full of will and full of desire.
Just running down the card, we've got Baumgardner and Campbell Hatton's back, Billam Smith. How do you see those fights going?
Yeah, I think, you know, listen, Chris Billam Smith against McCarthy is a brilliant fight. One of the fights of the year of 2021. It's a 50-50 fight. Baumgardner, for me, is, you know, one of the new stars of women's boxing, new world champion. Campbell Hatton, Jack Cullen, Jordan Thompson, look out for. Thomas Whittaker-Hart in a really good fight as well. Luke Evans, probably missed someone out. Cyrus Pattinson up at 8 rounds. It's a good night of boxing.
I spoke to Baumgardner yesterday and she said that she's looking at the Choi fight before the May fight. She wants to build that up. How do you see that?
Yeah, I think that you know, you talk about making big fights for women's boxing. Of course, you've got Taylor Serrano, biggest fight out there, but you've also got a lot of other big fights as well. Shields against Marshall. You've got Baumgardner against Meyer. You know, all really good fights. So hopefully keep building.
Just on that, how come there's no women's fight on the Canelo card?
To be honest with you, it's not. It's never like, we never look at a show and go, we must put a women's fight on. It's just really down to the particular fighters that are ready, the ones that are waiting. I mean, at Madison Square Garden the week before, you've got 3 female fights on that card. So maybe we could have put 1 on the Canelo card, but I just felt that on that night, we should be showcasing some of our best female talent.
Just a word on Devin Haney. How did that happen, and how come he's not with Matchroom still?
Well, I mean, you know, he did everything he could to stay with Matchroom, but unfortunately, the option that he had was lose the fight or do a 2-fight deal on ESPN. That's what he chose to do. We chatted about that. I respect that. He had to do it, and hopefully, a la Canelo, he'll go and win the Undisputed Championship, and then come back to Matchroom after.
Fury White next week. What have you made of the promotion of that?
No real promotion other than people not turning up anywhere, but good fight, excited to see it.
The promotion, so Dillian Ewens broke his silence.
I mean, look, he's obviously contractually got to do some posts and stuff like that, but let's just get the fight on. Hopefully everything goes smoothly next week.
I heard some rumours that he's maybe signing with Sky. Is there any truth in that?
Maybe. He's a free agent, you know, so we'll see what happens over the next... I mean, he's not going to sign with Sky before the fight. See what happens in the future.
Joshua Usyk latest, will it be in the UK? I've heard you mention London. How likely is it to be in the UK?
The fight itself is, you know, really down to both individuals and teams. You know, it's a split. So Usyk's going to want to go where the most money is for that fight. That's not England, but we want to go to England. So we're talking and going through the offers at the moment, and I reckon we're about 2 weeks away for finding out.
Joshua's last fight was on Sky, obviously in the UK only. Is he going to be fighting on Sky again?
Maybe, yeah. Look, he's got a good relationship with them, as we have as well. Obviously, he's got a lot of offers, but I think it's more about, you know, getting the first fight made and then going from there as well.
A lot of fans around the UK love watching their sport. I've heard you mention this before, and it was one of the questions I had for you. Does DAZN on in pubs and clubs around the country?
Yeah, it's a question we get like bombarded with every week, and we're across it. We know the demands there, of course, so we are working on that, and there's some big news coming out in that respect, and other news as well about some exciting moves for DAZN and Matchroom, and I'm sure we'll be in those kind of premises soon.
And out of the scale, the Heat, Chris Van Heerden. 145.8 for Chris Van Heerden. 145.8 for the challenger. The undefeated Conor, the Destroyer Benn. 146.5 for the undefeated Conor, the Destroyer Benn.
You still singing along, Am?
One of my all-time favourites, this.
Anyway, we are in Manchester. Of course, it is the big fight. It's Conor Benn against Chris Van Heerden. Now, great to hear from Eddie Hearn, always in good form as well, and a big promotion. It's always a big buzz in Manchester, as we said at the top of the show. But just another word about Conor Benn, because we've touched upon it. We've asked Campbell about him and Matthew, and we've heard what he's had to say in Fight Week. He's done fantastically well to overcome all the critics and those early kind of hurdles, the Cedric Payneau fights and all the rest of it.
He's done unbelievable. I think, I'll admit, for one, I think there's many who thought, is it going to happen for the lad? The improvement in him has been absolutely massive, and that's got to come down to two things. One, you've got a great team around him, but it's his attitude, it's how hard he works. Everyone will say just how hard he works, how hungry he is, and he doesn't have to be. He could live a nice life, doing something else. I'm sure of that, but I think he's inspiration for a lot of fighters, and Campbell Hatton, he doesn't have to look too far for people to look up to, but Conor Benn is the perfect, role model. So like what he had to overcome early on in his career with a lot of the criticism, not justified, and then what he's gone on to become, and now he's banging on the doors for world titles.
There are high-profile examples of people that don't need to box, if you like. I mean, Conor Benn has been very clear that he could have lived a luxurious life in Australia, didn't want for anything, all the rest of it. He just wants to do it. Campbell Hatton, a similar story, and Chris Eubank Jr., all these lads that are choosing to fight. It's not like the old story where the wrong side of the tracks and boxing saved them from a life of this and that. I mean, you love boxing. You weren't from like a terrible background and you had to do it. But I think the popularity of the sport is such now that it's open to everybody, isn't it?
No, absolutely. I always say it with us, like I'd never claim to have it like tough, because I was very lucky, but it was, I love the sport. Yeah. I love the sport, but like these three, this thing, the three, and there's other lads as well, and girls, you've got to give them extra credit, because they certainly wouldn't have, they could easily be handed another path. So I think that makes these fighters even more dangerous, the fact that they're doing it for the love of it.
In fact, Conor Benn could be living your dream. He could be on that Essex programme. What is it?
Yeah.
He could be doing all that, couldn't he?
Yeah, Brentwood, probably get a place in town. But now instead, he's in the gym. He's out on the early morning, hitting the roads, working harder than anyone. And listen, the rewards are coming for the lad.
And the rewards are coming from Maverick Stars Trust, because Anthony is on absolute fire at the minute. He's looking for a hat-trick of wins for the charity, because your last two accumulators have been absolutely spot on, and so credit where it's due.
They have, Dominic, and I'm going for an hat-trick this week.
What's it going to be?
Do you know what? I'm playing it safe to get the hat-trick. I don't know. No, I don't think I am, because...
Just go with what you think.
I'm going with... Because last time, a lot of people thought it could have easily gone the other way. I'm going Chris Billam-Smith on points.
Yep.
In another good fight. Really looking forward to that one. And I am going for Conor Benn inside. I reckon it's going to be earlier, so this way I think I'm going safe. Wouldn't be surprised if but I'm going Conor Benn inside 5 rounds.
The Chris Billam-Smith, Tommy McCarthy fight as well, because we looked at the card before, we looked at the main event, and obviously we've seen the guys talk at the presser this week. That's a belter, isn't it?
Brilliant fight. It's like I said, it's just, you can see how much they're both up for that, and both believe like they've done enough last time. And it's not that, again, that European title, you win that, a defence or two of that, you're right in the line, for a world title shot, right in the line. So it's almost serves this as an eliminator, maybe not a final eliminator, but an eliminator for a world title.
Yeah, Chris Billam-Smith with Shane McGuigan, Tommy McCarthy, trained in Manchester as well for a time, so
he did
a little bit of intrigue in that one, of course it is. Now, our time is up with the Lightweight Boxing Show, Anthony. So, again, we love being on the road, and it's been great being in Manchester, which has been a real stretch for us too.
Yeah, it has. It's, it's really, we've got an overnight stay out of it. And, yes, it's good to be here. It's good to be home.
Well, let's see how Conor Benn gets on, and Campbell Hatton, and thanks for the time that we had with the Hatton camp this week. But, enjoy the action, and thanks for watching the Lightweight Boxing Show.